Hello, welcome back. Yes, the car is finally finished. The body's done. The fenders are painted, the hood is painted, and the body is wrapped, lettered, and ready to go. It has been a very, very, very long month and a half of hurry up and wait, frustration, scrambling, and we finally just barely, like literally, I think about 2 to 3 hours maybe to spare to get this car at the autocross last weekend. It was a mad dash. I'm going to kind of explain what really happened. So, let me begin with the body. That was kind of the good part of this whole deal. Fenders, I put those in the paint booth, painted them, Rust-Oleum enamel, like high performance enamel, semi-gloss black or hot rod black as the internet knows it. Fenders turned out amazing for it being a rattle can job. There's a few imperfections for sure. I definitely went heavy in places, but overall, it turned out amazing. Even the hood, even with my terrible sanding and rushed sanding job that I did from, I would say, probably like 20 feet away, give or take, it turned out really, really good. And it definitely turned some heads. The paint job was really nice, and the wrap itself was a really cool idea, inspired by a buddy of mine, Dave, who basically came up with, just after a few beers on a Saturday night, hey, he had like a cry cut machine at home. He's like, hey, I could get some vinyl paper and we can just have some people come over after he cuts like a crap load of like different shapes, squares and triangles and whatever else in like different shades of blue. And we would just buy everybody some beer, whoever came over, and would just cover the car in stickers and decals, just like kind of sticker bomb. It would have been kind of like a neat kind of like group project, just for fun. And then the more I thought about it, I was like, I feel like I could probably get somebody to print a design, or I can buy like a roll of it and try to install it. I was worried about trying to get some of these contours done correctly. And my cousin, who owns Insta Science Plus in Delaware, please go check them out. Really great company. It's a younger company, started in 91. He just acquired it a few years ago. Really good work. They basically, I kind of gave them this idea that I had of like, hey, like I want to do this kind of like, I don't want to do digital camo because a lot of people have done it already. I don't know if triangles are possible. Hexagons look kind of cool. Like let's just kind of play around with it. Let's play with colors and let's just see what it's going to look like with all lettered up. And we landed on this. And they even added some pinstriping around the body lines to kind of like make, kind of split things up a little bit. It's not just like one blob of camo. And it turned out amazing. They did a really good job. They got all the contours around the roof, which was super complicated. They had like 4 guys like standing on each corner of the car with like a sheet of vinyl that they just had to kind of like place in, with a 5th guy with a heat gun going around and like heating things up. It was, I didn't get pictures of them doing this, but apparently it was a very, very interesting morning in their shop when they did it. It was, quite something. So the main vinyl wrap guy, Brendan, he did an amazing job with applying this. He even took the extra time he had the deck lid on. He got everything kind of split up, and underneath you won't be able to see it. There's actually black vinyl underneath. So that way when you pull the deck lid off, it's not just like an ugly white color. It actually looks, it looks proper. It looks the way it should. And they did an incredible job with this wrap. I am so happy with it. Everybody loves the car as far as its looks. And I'm over the moon ecstatic about it. It turned out really, really good. So that's the good news about this. Other good news is that the rest of the car went together really well. I had to put new, I don't know if we call these things like not rock sliders. They're not rock sliders. They're just like the panels under the door, like between the fenders. I don't know what you call them. In the comments, tell me what it is. I forget what they call them. But basically, I had to replace those. The old ones looked really junky, especially against the new fenders, the newly painted front fenders, the re-wrap body. I was like, oh my gosh, if I'm already in this with all new body work, I got to replace these for, I think it was like $40 a piece and some work, just put new panels on. So you'll notice this car does have a motor in it. Now, this is some of the bad news that kind of happened while I was away and off of YouTube for a bit. This is not the same motor that came out of the car in November. This motor was, unfortunately, due to a set of circumstances that happened early May, like late April, early May. I still own the motor. It's still there. But essentially, that motor, it was rebuilt. Like I said in one of my last videos, I think it was in February or March, they finished rebuilding it. They, I guess, were sitting on it, or just lack of dyno time or issues, whatever the case is. They ended up, unfortunately, when it was on the dyno, I guess it was a push rod that actuates the water pump in these things. I don't know how it works. Don't ask. I have no idea. Apparently, that push rod got stuck while they were running it. The water in the radiator was still reading in about the normal range, whatever that's supposed to be. So they kept running it, making power pulls and doing all this other stuff, and didn't realize that it wasn't pumping water anymore, and they essentially blew it up. I don't know the extent of the damage. They didn't tell me. They just said that, hey, we cracked the cases, or basically the block where like the crankshaft and the transmission are. Something cracked in there, and they were going to put a new set of cases on it and keep the head, the cylinder, or the cylinders rather. It's all kind of bolt-on, like all three cylinders are there. And they were just going to replace any parts that were broken or have damage from the incident, which I would imagine it's probably quite a bit. They probably had to do pistons and rings and a bunch of other stuff too. I won't know until I get the paperwork back. I'm still waiting for that motor to show up. So what's this motor? This motor is from a guy who had this sitting on the shelf for a little while. Has about 3 or 4 races on it at Langley Speedway in Virginia. Fun fact, right across the street from NASA's Langley location. And he basically, I made a panic post after the engine blew up, like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I need a backup motor. Does anyone have an FZ09 backup engine that's ready to kind of bolt in the car, at least to get me through the next couple months? The guy was really cool about it. Gave me a really good deal on this motor. I think it was about $3,000 for a motor with 3 to 4 races on it. So basically brand new, broken in already. So I can just stick it in the car, get it to start, and then run it. So that was a fun adventure I had last week. So I gave myself 1 week to get this whole car back together. Like the rest, like all the mechanicals, the suspension, the rear end, the body itself, all of that was already done. I already had like the front body work on temporarily just to check fit everything. So that was cool. That was fine. But I did not have a lot of time to get this motor in. So I did have time to show the car back when it had the wrap and the paint job done. I just didn't want to show it without the motor in it because I was tired of going on YouTube and complaining that I don't have a motor still. So I wanted to have something in here. So all that being said, got the motor, got it here. I had to wait till Tuesday because it was shoehorned in my car, and I just, for the life of me, I couldn't get it out. Finally got a buddy to come over. He helped me get it out. We got thrown in the car. I'm thrashing on it, trying to get everything put back together. Thursday comes around. I go to start it. The fuel pump dies. Like, of all things, why would the fuel pump die? And I remember at the very end of the year, this car was getting harder and harder to cold start. It refused to cold start unless I mess with the throttle position sensor, or which I hate doing this, pop the air filter off and just spray some ether down there, slam it closed, and just hope that the thing just fires up enough to get enough fuel with it to keep going. I was like, what the heck's going on? I thought it was a tuning issue, and that was another reason why I sent the original motor in, was to get the ECU reflashed, check the tune over, make sure everything was okay. Yeah, it turns out the fuel pump was dying the whole time. Yeah, the fuel pump the entire time was dying. The fuel pump that's in it now is so much stronger. The car basically starts up like touching a button. It's been sitting all day. I mean, this header is ice cold, like literally ice cold. I can almost guarantee it is gonna hilariously start. I even left the car on by accident, which, oops, shouldn't do that. See, it already sounds better. And would you look at that? It just runs. It would never do this, ever before. I just killed it. That's all good. So, yeah, it never did that. Every time I would cold start it, I would have to run the heater so that the room was at least like 75 degrees or like 70 degrees just to get the motor to start. Like it wouldn't start cold ever. So I feel like I kind of screwed myself with getting this whole motor rebuilt. It probably didn't need it now that I know what the issue was, but it is what it is, I guess. So now I got this motor in here. My original motor was blown up for pretty much no reason, rebuilt for no reason. I should have just done the clutches myself and been done with it. I should have sent the ECU out to be reflashed just to cover myself. And I could have saved myself the $3,000 on this, but whatever. I mean, it is what it is. But hey, the car looks good. The car is ready to go on track. The autocross last week, it went pretty well. It was just a shakedown run. I wasn't really competitive. It was a really technical track, and I had been thrashing on the car. So I got the fuel pump in after it died on Thursday. I got it in after I ran all the way up to Princeton to my parts dealer for these things. And I did get the fuel pump in. I want to say that night. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got it in there that night, got it running, it started, it was fantastic. I then was back here until 12:30 that night to just try to get the rest of the car back together. Then I'm out here first thing Saturday morning. I'm out here all day trying to get the car together, and it was loaded up on the trailer at like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and I had to be in bed like 10 or 11 to get to the track on time. So I had 2 hours to spare, which is actually kind of rare for me. I'm usually very last minute. I procrastinate all the time. So yeah, it actually, all things considered, lots and lots of driving, like 14 hours of driving in the last week to get this car back on the track. But it's done. I'm very happy with it. It did amazing. I already got some track rash. I call it just a lot of rock chips in the fenders already. I don't care. It is what it is. It's a race car. Like, what are you going to do? And I'm going to NJMP for a track day this week on Friday. I even took off work for it. I am that excited about it. And to enjoy Memorial Day weekend. It's going to be fantastic. So I'm going to leave you guys here. This is the car. It looks fantastic. The build is the build, quote unquote, or the rebuild of the car is officially over. I'm getting my old motor, the rebuilt, blown up one. After it was blown up, it's now rebuilt. That's coming back this week. Or not this week, this month. I think like the very last weekend of May, I'll get it back. And I got to figure out if I'm going to do the song and dance of pulling this one to put that one in and selling this motor back. Just, send it off to the world, or keep this one and then sell the brand new motor. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but because I don't need two motors. This is a bit insane to have two motors. Honestly, I'm not even going to go back to USLC to rebuild my motors. I'll just keep buying the next used motor and then selling the previous used motor to somebody. Like, I am so done with the USLC shop. They at least owned up to the mistake, but I wouldn't have to scramble on getting another motor just because they sat on it. Like, I procrastinate, but they sat on it for like 4 months before they rebuilt it, and then another 2 months before they put it on a dyno. Where all these other larger teams that I'm hearing about, you know, well-known names, you know, from NASCAR, that kind of thing. I'm not going to name who, but I'm sure some of the legend guys watching this might already know. They sure as heck got their motors really damn fast, or they were able to just buy brand new motors from other people when they needed it, so they wouldn't have to wait for rebuilds from these people. Now, I know USLC, they did lose some engine people. Some people quit. Some people, unfortunately, passed away. So it's a real shame, and that's why I'm not going to really harp on them too bad here. But come on, USLC, like you can do better than 7-month turnarounds and maybe not blow up, you know, my motors on a dyno, please. Like, maybe pay attention and not blow them up, which I'm sure it was an accident. Like, that stuff just happens, but like, at least give yourself some time in case that might happen, so that people, like, you know, backyard kind of like small shop people can actually get these cars on track and support your brand. Because if you're going to keep doing this to people, you're just going to scare them away. But anyway, that's my lecture for the day. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you like the car as it is. I love it. This is definitely not going through another transformation next season. I'm done transforming the car. It's ready to go as is. I'm just going to enjoy it. Post a bunch of videos from my track days, just like, you know, fast laps, that kind of stuff. It's going to be fantastic. But anyway, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.